I'm Mike,
And I'm Matt.
and this is The Coin Show.
Take just one last breath before you enter.
On this episode of The Coin Show, we discuss Confederate coinage, and we also talk about the coolest thing to walk into Matt's shop this week. But first, the news. Much less phlegmy broadcast this year, or this time. The Coin and Chronicles set honoring Lyndon Baines Johnson has sold out. In a pattern set by the Truman, Eisenhower, and Kennedy Coin and Chronicles sets sold earlier this year. You try saying that 10 times fast. The sellout occurred in under 4 hours for this particular set. Now, the sets contain a reverse-proof presidential dollar and a 1-ounce silver medal, and they sold for $57.95 plus shipping on the Mint website. Current flipping activity saw prices near $100 a set on eBay for buy it now auctions.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think that these coins have an upside as far as future
No,
value.
heck no. That's a quick turn, buddy. Pump and dump.
Yeah, really. I mean, even if they continue, even if the Mint continues with these sets into next year, there's going to be a total of 7 coins in the set. So I think that people are kind of counting on the novelty of reverse proof coins. And as, they don't tremendously enhance the view of this coin. I mean, it's not something that you look at and go, wow, that's a really nice, finish on this coin, or it really enhances the design. It actually, think kind of goes the other way. And
Just gimmicky.
well, I think it looks a little creepy in some ways because they use the forward-facing portraits. So it's just, I mean, people complained about Harry S. Truman, and so, anyways, I don't think that they're anything more than a novelty. And it's like if you bought a set to flip it, by all means. But I definitely would not want to be the one holding the bag on this one when, things kind of calm themselves down.
Yeah.
So I wrote in my notes here, I don't think that they're anything more than a novelty.
Yeah.
Take this piece of tape and play it back in 20 years. We'll see who got what from these, and then you can judge me.
Yeah.
But I'll probably be dead, so I won't care. Speaking of novelty,
Speaking of dead.
the Royal Canadian Mint has unveiled its bullion DNA anti-counterfeiting technology for bullion coins.
Huh.
Yeah. A recent article in Numismatic News questioned the need for this on bullion coins, and I agree. Are there that many counterfeit gold maple leaf coins out there?
Believe it or not, I've seen a few. So,
But I mean, are there that many of them?
no, we don't see
That
them very
they need
often.
to put an anti-counterfeiting thing? Really? I mean, is there a need for anti-counterfeiting on 1-ounce silver coins?
Yes. Yeah, they're actually, I see those more commonly counterfeited than the gold. We see those, a couple times a month.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've never seen a counterfeit one.
Well, we
Then
see,
again, maybe I, wouldn't know.
we see quite a few.
The Numismatic News article alludes to how such anti-counterfeiting technology might be useful for rare coins more so than bullion, but I think they're kind of missing the point. The Royal Canadian Mint wants buyers to feel that when they purchase a maple leaf, that it's genuine.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't really see the need. I mean, I get that, you want to be sure it's genuine, but I don't know. I guess the fakes must be really good to force this kind of a technology change.
The Chinese are getting better, and that's exactly what it is. The people that have the command of these mints notice that, and they're on top of it too, and they're trying to stay a step ahead of the counterfeiters.
Well, I mean, they weigh the correct amount.
Sometimes.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is I look at it and it's like if it's the right size and it looks right and it weighs right, chances are it should be genuine.
Well, they've got around that somehow. I think they've started making the coins a few tenths of a millimeter thicker. That way they can get the right size and weight. So it's definitely a game of cat and mouse with these things because, like I said, we catch them occasionally.
The Senate has taken up the cause of pink gold coins for the U.S. to recognize the fight against breast cancer. You know, a bill passed the House in July, and CoinNews.net is reporting that the language in both bills is similar enough that reconciliation should be an easy process. So, you know, we had reported on the fact that the House passed the bill, and I said, well, we'll see if the Senate acts on it. The Senate actually seems to be in favor of this, and it looks like it should pass. So we could end up with, you know, rose gold coins. You know, I like the idea, but I hope that the proceeds from, you know, the coins actually go to help in the fight.
Yeah.
I've said before how deadly serious I am about that stuff. And, you know, that said, I think that the rose-colored gold or the pink gold would be kind of a cool canvas with which to inspire new and cool designs on future coins.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, I mean, that gives me hope.
Yeah.
Anytime modern coins can yield some new, you know,
Something we haven't seen
cool,
before.
yeah, it's just some different ideas instead of, you know, colorizing it and painting it. Okay, they
Slap a
kind of played
sticker
that.
on it, pet it on the
Well,
bum,
put
and
a
let it
sticker
go.
on it, curve it. You know, I mean, when you think about how many things they've done with a, I mean, barely three-dimensional object.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done okay.
Yeah.
Belgium will issue its first 2.5 euro coin this year with a coin that commemorates the 200th anniversary of Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo.
Interesting.
Well, it's I shouldn't actually put it like that because what they do is they celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Battle of Waterloo.
Yeah.
And I just okay, well, 100,000 coins will be minted, including 30,000 of them in proof. I just think it's a funny idea that, you know, Belgium wants to remind the world that they handed Napoleon his greatest, if not the greatest military defeat in history.
Yeah.
But they're kind of dancing in the end zone and, you know, rubbing the French people's nose in it. So,
well, hey, there's not many other things that Belgium can be proud of. So
waffles.
Oh, that's true. Waffles. But I mean, other than waffles,
you know, although there is no mention of Napoleon or France on the coin, the battle has kind of become synonymous with getting your butt handed to you. And
that guy got Waterlooed.
Oh, dude. I mean, seriously, it's like this was his Waterloo.
Yeah.
This was his Waterloo.
Yeah.
And it's you know, they're dancing in the end zone. I think we should throw a flag as a 15-yarder.
Well, what do you do?
Ireland has decided to stop producing 1 and 2 cent coins and will start rounding cash transactions on a voluntary basis to the nearest 5 cents.
Not a horrible idea.
So a couple of days ago, October 29th was the rollout of the program. Tests of this plan have actually proven very popular with both consumers and retailers. So they tested it out, you know, and they kind of saw how people thought about it rather than just kind of on a whim saying, well, this is what we're going to do, and here it is, deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, so far, 6 European Union members have already started rounding policies because they're smart enough to realize that producing cents at 1.65 cents a piece is really stupid. And admitting 2 cent coins at $1.94 each is almost as much.
You mean 1.94 cents? Not $1.94.
No, 1.94 cents each. Well, minting them at $1.94 a piece would be really bad. I think that this is a good alternative to buying back coins, you know, 1 and 2 cent coins at a premium.
Yeah.
You know, you have to make a decision at this point. They're costing more to produce. So do you just want to try and get people to get off of these hoards, massive, massive hoards that they have, these coins? You know, there's no sense in making any more. And that is the one thing that I guess everybody can agree on over there.
Yeah.
The United States, on the other hand, marches to the beat of their own drummer. See, I told you this would be kind of entertaining tonight.
You're not kidding.
The United States, on the other hand, marches to the beat of their own drummer. I think I saw him on the Bicentennial Quarter.
Yes, you did.
U.S. coin production in 2015 is the highest single year since 2007, according to a CoinNews.net article. Lincoln cents, Jefferson nickels, Roosevelt dimes, and America the Beautiful quarters are rolling out by the truckload. 7.2 billion 1-cent coins, over 1 billion nickels, not a single one of them made money, and over 2.5 billion America the Beautiful quarters have been produced so far this year.
How many dollars?
Well, but as far as these go, 7.2 billion 1-cent, over 1 billion nickels, 2.5 billion ATP quarters. I don't think we're talking key date.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to be pulling
I'm sitting here looking at the circulating production chart. They have a negative 140,000 silver dollar mintage in Denver.
Well, that was
did they
for
destroy
September. No, that was for September, and it was an adjustment.
Okay.
Because they had overestimated it in a previous report.
Gotcha.
So it's like if you look at the total presidential dollars, they've made 37 million and 5 million Native American dollars. Because we need them.
Yeah, we totally. Everybody's using them. I can't get enough of them. We all need them.
Now, surprisingly, 2.5 billion dimes were minted. That's almost as many dimes as the 5 quarters combined.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously, Philadelphia made 1.1 billion of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. Of course, Kennedy halves, Native American and presidential dollars seem to be well supplied and are not currently in production. And finally in the news, remember our friend Caitlin Troutwine from Whitman Publishing?
Well, I sure do.
Yeah, she was a guest on our show, live from the World's Fair of Money. She wrote an article for CoinUpdate.com addressing a subject that I have heard nowhere else in the coin media.
What's that?
Sweden is moving towards an actual cash-free society.
Oh, interesting.
Mobile banking systems there are pushing digital forms of payment, decreasing both the use and the need for cash. Some banks have digitalized completely and don't accept cash at all anymore. Now, Caitlin reports that the banks scrutinize any customer's transaction that uses cash, citing money laundering statutes, and literally asks them to explain the origins of any cash tendered.
Oh, man.
I know, they're like third degree. Where did you get the cash? Denmark is closely following suit. This year they announced that beginning in 2016, some businesses will no longer be required to accept cash in payment for goods and services. So they can just flat out refuse cash.
That's crazy.
It is kind of. Which brings us full circle. Ireland is doing away with small useless coins that are minted only to languish in jars and parking lots as people cast them aside. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the United States is making more coins than they have in years. And some Scandinavian countries are trying to do away with cash entirely. So
funny how the divide grows.
You got the whole thing. Personally, I don't think that a cash-free society can really work globally. For starters, the black market and crime will always require some form of cash.
Yeah.
And therefore, when none is provided, one will be substituted, as we've seen time after time. I also believe that given the power that anyone with money, which could include some criminals, I'm just saying, and that the people with money wield in political influence, given the political climate here in the United States, the pace at which our government changes policies regarding our money, i.e. dollar bills and pennies, and the progressive and change-embracing attitude of the public at large, I don't think I'd expect it very soon.
Yeah, me neither.
I told you the news would have a little attitude toward it.
There you go.
Did you like it?
It was brutal.
Well,
brutally honest, and I love it.
It was brutally honest.
Yeah, I know. I was there.
Okay. The American Civil War, Or do you, Matt, think of it as the War of Northern Aggression?
War of Northern Aggression. No, I'm a Northerner.
or-
We're
or-
both